Hello, everyone. Good evening. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Hello, can you guys hear me? Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. How are you? How's your week been?
Good evening.
Good evening. I see our instructor is already here. I was going to wait 2 more minutes for more people to join in so that we can start. Is that fine with you, Mr. Obanje?
Yes, it's absolutely fine. Take your time.
Awesome. All right, so
Take
we'll
your
start
time.
at
Yeah.
7:05, if that's okay.
That works. That
Okay.
works.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Awesome. Once again, I'd like to say very good evening to everyone for joining today. And good evening to Mr. Johnson Obante. Thank you so much for taking out your time to be with us again today for the second week in a row. And we're very excited to hear what you're going to be learning, what you're going to be training us about today. I will leave the floor open to you now. Thank you so much.
Yay, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Thank you so very much. I'm not seeing everyone here yet. Okay, I can see a number of us here. Good evening. How are we doing? How was our week? Please confirm if you can hear me. I would like to see that in the comment section. Let me know you can hear me loud and clear. Is my mic audible enough? Turning on my camera. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Yeah, loud and clear. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Somebody stay at supersonic speed. Please, nobody should hype me today. Good evening. Good evening. Such a great pleasure to be here again. Thank you so much, Folami, for having me. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Thank you for having me again today. It's really a great pleasure to be here. We had such a phenomenal time last weekend, and I'm excited to be back here. I hope we'll have more time together again in subsequent in future and all that. To be a great pleasure to be here. By the way, I got some of our video introduction really, really beautiful to see the work we are putting in to have that done. I'm super excited to see that. And yeah, I'm still reviewing all our videos, and hopefully by tomorrow, I should be able to send feedback. Someone said my week was tiresome. I'm sorry about that. Sharif Mohammed, sorry about that. I understand that some of our Muslim brothers are fasting. By the way, how is our fast going? I hope we're doing so well. So great. Just hold on tight. We'll soon be done. All right. So by the way, I was saying that I saw some of our video submission, and it was really, really beautiful to see some of the work that you guys were able to do and some of the things you're able to pull through. I'll try as much as possible to make this session really, really brief so that we can wrap up with our discussions from last weekend. Yes, please go ahead. I beyond just the submission, I'm going to give feedback to everyone that have submitted their videos. Okay, so I'm going to give my professional feedback to everyone. So I'm going to check. I'm going to review what you've done and let you know what you've done great and then what you should do better. So I'm going to give a constructive feedback to everyone. So that's what I'm working on. I want to ensure that beyond that, you're going to get feedback from me. And then, as I mentioned, the best submission I'm getting is going to get a 1 month free mentorship with me, right? So I'll be doing that for free for the best submission I'm going to receive, right? I don't know if you were told, but then the best video submission I'm getting, the person will receive a 1 month free mentorship on the effective speaking and writing class, right? This is a class I've not launched yet, but I've been building secretly. But then I'll be happy to, mentor someone who has done a great job in that. I'll be able to work specifically on your specific area of need when it comes to your ability to speak in public or write effectively. We'll discuss your pain points and design unique strategy just for you. So best students, brace up. You're going to have a very, very robust 1 month with me. So I actually look forward to that. It's going to be really enriching. So I look forward to that. So very quickly, we'll move to our discussion for today. So I was wrapping up my discussion on effective speaking. Apologies, we're not very, very fast last time, but I will just rush the discussion for today so that we'll be able to wrap up. And please, if you are with me so far, let me know you are with me. I want to be sure I'm not talking to myself. Let me know you are with me. Let me know you are with me.
Yes, we are. We are getting, sir.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And before we proceed, what was your key takeaway from last week's class? What was your key takeaway from last week's class? What was your key takeaway? My slide is up, and we have a few more things to do. Quickly, what was your key takeaway from last week's class? Yes, I'm going to turn on the chat so I can see what you're saying. I need to get like 1 or 2 feedback. What was your key takeaway from last week's class? Yes. Looking forward to your responses. We do here. Good. Okay, I'm just seeing your message. Okay. Don't worry, they'll get to hear that. I'm just seeing your message now, Felami. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. I'm just seeing your message now. I'm looking forward to that myself. So I'll wrap that up and send the detail to you by tomorrow. So
Thank
we know
you.
who is going to be a part of the mentorship program by God's grace. So we'll look at that tomorrow. Yes, please. You need to tell me something you learned from last week. Come on, guys. Inspire me. Say something. Yes. Oh, you're typing. Let me assume you're typing. So I'm just going to give a few minutes to see that. Yes. No one. What was one key takeaway? If I don't get a feedback from you from last week's class, it means I wasted my time. So I need to get a feedback. There must be something you've learned from last week. Pardon me, I'm a bit assertive when I talk, right? That's because I'm a teacher, right? So teachers are very, we love feedback, right? Very good, very good. I'm getting something now. Very good. Elements of powerful verbal communication, your tone, your pitch, your pace, and your clarity. Thank you. This is your key takeaway. Can we get someone else? Yes, can we get someone else?
I want to assume maybe people are typing. That may be,
Okay, so I can give a few minutes, right?
yeah, maybe a minute or two.
Okay, let me give a minute. I'm going to give a minute because we don't have time. We're 12 minutes in already. Okay, looking forward to feedback. Very good. Last week's session was very informative and it made some of us very communicative. I love that. By the way, your videos has been awesome. Awesome. You know, awesome. I got I've been watching videos. A few persons I saw at least 2 or 3 videos already, and it was really beautiful what I saw. Thank you. My key takeaways were pace, peace, polite, clearly outlined. Okay. So while we await other people sending in their responses, I'll just proceed to talking about what we have for today. And I promised that we have a few things that we'll be looking at particularly. So I'll just last week, by the way, just as a point of recap, right? We spoke about some of the elements of powerful verbal communication. We spoke about your tone, spoke about your pitch, your pace, and your clarity, right? If you've taken screenshots of this, you can review your notes. You know, as I always say, you should have a note where you write down some of the key points you're learning from, okay? Which is very, very, very important, right? We also spoke about active listening, right? While we're talking about your public speaking, I told you that you are not a great public speaker if you are not an active listener, right? One of the key skills that any individual who wants to improve in their communication skill must, hone is their ability to be able to listen effectively, right? You should be able to listen to your audience, right? Beyond just listening to people who are right in front of you, if you even have a group of people who are speaking to you, you must turn on your listening senses, ensure that you are able to listen to the people around you. How attentive are your audience? How You know, are you sure they are listening to you? Are they paying attention to the detail? Are they understanding what you're sending to them? Sometimes many public speakers speak in public, they speak to a lot of people, but then they are literally just speaking to themselves. You're talking and no one is listening, and you just keep talking here and there. It's not a very good way of speaking in public. So when you're speaking, you want to ensure that whoever is listening to you is being carried along in your speaking, right? And I spoke about these 3 active listening techniques. Number 1, I spoke about maintaining eye contact, right? While you are speaking to your audience, if you are speaking to an individual, look at the person right in the eyes. You want to ensure that you are looking at them in the eyes. And if you are doing a virtual call, you want to look right into the camera, ensuring that your audience are literally feeling that you are speaking directly to them. This is very, very important. I mentioned nodding as a way of verbal affirmation, letting the people who are listening to you know that you are with them. This is very, very important. Here and there, you should be able to, say a thing or two. I understand, I get you. You nod while you express consent that you are literally understanding what they are saying. This is very, very important. And finally, I mentioned that you must avoid interrupting the speaker. Ensure that whoever you are listening to is done before you chip in what you have to say. And then I mentioned that some of the things you have to do when summarizing, once you're done listening, you want to now respond effectively to whom you've listened to. And one of the key things I mentioned that you must do is that you should be able to summarize the key points before replying. Don't just jump in with your ideas. Many times when people are listening, they have a lot of things in their head they want to say. So the moment their audience or their speaker is done talking, they quickly jump in to begin to respond to what they have to say. This is very, very wrong. This is a wrong approach. What you want to do is immediately your speaker is done talking, you want to be sure that they are done. Number 1, hi, are you sure you're done talking? Okay, great. If I get you correctly, you mentioned this, and this. This is showing that what you're affirming, that you are listening to what the person is saying. This is very, very important. Ask clarifying questions. You can ask a question or two to clarify, and then you match the speaker's tone and energy appropriately. If somebody is speaking to you from a point of excitement, don't respond with a moody tone. And if somebody is speaking to you with a sober tone, you shouldn't respond with excitement or you start laughing or giggling. That's a very, very wrong approach to responding to your what's it called, your speaker or your listener. Now, very, very important. Okay, I gave some instances. I will not want to go back to there. Then we started talking about some of the ways you can overcome nervousness and building confidence. We spoke about preparation. We said that if you prepare, you will overcome nervousness. We spoke about practice. Many times people are nervous and they do not practice. Part of the things you want to do is that you want to record yourself with your phone and speak to yourself. And once you're done, you want to listen to what you've said and be sure that, look at areas of improvement from your speech, from your communication. I got some of your videos, and some persons someone was mentioning that this is his first time, speaking or recording himself. I was very impressed with what he has done, despite it was his first time, right? I was very impressed. He was working with his scripts. Excuse me. He was working with his script and all of that. Very beautiful. Right? So you won't become perfect just by trying once. You become perfect when you repeat what you're saying over and over and over again, right? So you want to do this consistently. And let me advise someone, maybe this is for someone, I don't know who this is for, but this is for someone. You want to start organizing your own webinars, your own trainings. If there's something you're really good at, overcome the fear, host a class, do it, come on. Do it. Get my number and share what you want to do with me. I'll be very excited to see that. Maybe you are good. Someone was sharing with me that is a freelancer. There's someone that shared with me that is into something else. Whatever it is you're good at, decide to host a training to, raise other people. Sometimes you can overcome nervousness by just, talking to people intentionally. Do something that is real business. Right? Not a practice session again. Right? Not a practice session again. Right? Please, someone is saying having network challenge here. Is it from my end or just from you? Please confirm if you
I
can hear
think
me.
it's from his end.
Okay, my network is good, right?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Excellent. And then we spoke about positive visualization. That's to say that when you're preparing for a speech, you want to positively visualize how successful the speech is. This is very, very important. Let's move right. Okay, I spoke about this too last week. Woo. So I'm really recapping a lot. We spoke about the structure of your public speaking, the structure of your speaking, the essentials. We spoke about your structure, which has to do with your introduction, the body, and the conclusion. I spoke about starting with a hook. Start with a hook. And I told you one of the strategies to delivering a great content is using storytelling. I believe this was where I stopped, and I want to take it up from there. This is not part of my slide, but I want to talk about a few things about storytelling. Okay, I want to talk a few things about storytelling. This is very, very important. If you are having any speaking engagement or you're talking to a group of people or something that means business, try to tie whatever you have to say with a short story. This can be the greatest hook you have, and make sure your story is interesting. Listen to me. People remember stories more than they remember any fact that is being said. People remember stories more than they remember any fact that is being said. So you want to learn storytelling techniques. Okay, if you are with me, write storytelling in the comment section. Write storytelling in the comment section. Write storytelling. Very, very important. I'm just going to say a few things about this. Now, one of the things when you're speaking, I can't see anybody typing storytelling. Write that in the comment section quickly so I'm sure you're with me. Storytelling, very important. But time, someone is saying time. What's going on? Oh, Sheriff, you need to leave. Is that it? Storytelling, great. I'm sure this session is being recorded, so you are able to get the recordings if you miss any part of it, okay? So talking about storytelling, right? One of the first things, some of the storytelling essentials, especially when you have to speak in public, is number one, you want to consider dates and time. Please write it down. It's not part of my slide, so just permit me. You want to consider date and time. The first element of a good story is the presence of dates and time. Okay, so you see people starting a story by giving you when the event occurred. It's very, very important. It's a very great you attract people to what you have to say by starting with date, time, or when. The idea there is when. Remember the short video I showed you last Saturday? We saw the man was mentioning, he said, when I was coming down from my car. What is he telling you? He's giving you the time the event occurred, right? If you are writing any speech, any statement of purpose or any speech, whatever it is, make sure you tie a time tag to that write-up. Very, very important. Tell your story with time. Okay. I remember very, very well 2011. Let me share a bit of my story with you. 2011 was the first time I taught in a school, right? In 2011, when I just completed my WAEC examination. WAEC stands for West African Examination Commission, I believe. Right when I finished writing my my WAEC, I was very passionate about teaching, and I walked into a school and I told them that I was ready to teach, that I would like to teach their students. They looked at me in the eye and they told me that what certificates do I have? I told them I was just a secondary school graduate. I just finished school. That was in 2011. And I looked at the principal in the eye and I told him that I'm very good at teaching. I taught my secondary school students, while they were preparing for their exams, and I'll do a great job teaching his learners. He looked at me and said, son, get back to school. I felt heartbroken because I felt like I was a passionate teacher and this is something I'd really want to do. I knew very well in my heart that I could change the narrative of his school, although I never had any certificates. He looked at me and asked me a simple question. He said, son, how would you define curriculum? Although I was knowledgeable about the content, but I do not know what I could not define curriculum as it is, from an educational perspective. I looked at him and I began to define curriculum from my own limited knowledge. He looked at me and smiled and told me to go back to school. When I was leaving, his wife called me back and says, for some reason, you look like someone that I can work with. I'm going to put you on trial to teach my grade 5 learners for 1 term. If we see any improvement, we will have you to teach us to teach the learners full time. What have I just done? I'm just teaching you stories. And some of you got interested in my story, right? This is a story I share whenever I want to teach educators how to be passionate. I was literally passionate about what I want to do, that I went out without a certificate to start teaching, right? You see, if I teach you starting with my story, you will be very inspired. You will pay attention to what I have to say, right? What are the elements of your story? Your date and your time, very important. The characters involved in the story is also very important. Mention names, mention people. So you can call, for instance, you can say the principal, Mr. This, Mr. Adetoju, or whatever it is. Call somebody's name, mention the name, and put it in. Is a very, very valid ingredient of a good story. You want to also talk about the challenges. What are the concerns that some of the things that happened in the story? Great stories are just like movies, right? How many of you have watched any interesting movie? You see the movie starts with an introduction. They just give you a time, maybe something just starting. All of a sudden, they create a problem. This is the nature of a good story. The story starts with an introduction, introducing the characters. You see, the beginning of any movie will start with introduction of characters. This is the mother of this. This is the father to this person is a businessman, this man is wealthy, and they just put all those characters together just to let you know who is involved in the story. The next thing you begin to see is a problem. Are you seeing that now? There's usually a problem. You see a problem or a situation that needs to be solved, and it will get you anxious. How did this individual overcome this challenge? This is you building up. So whenever you want to tell a story, you want to have your date, your time, you want to have the characters involved, you want to have what is the conflict, and then how is the conflict being resolved? Are we together? How is the conflict being resolved? Or how did it win? Was it a win at the end of the story, or is it going to end as a sad story or a sad point? This is very, very important. If you do things that way, you are able to capture your audience. You are able to tell a very, very, very good story. So structure your story very well. Now, please don't tell lies. Stories, many people, when we teach them about storytelling, they just begin to tell lies just to get sympathy. Of a truth, a story, an emotional story usually attracts the sympathy of people. For instance, someone is trying to apply for a job abroad and they will ask you, why do you want to do this? Or a school abroad, why do you want to study electrical engineering, for instance? And you see the people start with a story. Very, very good. They say, growing up at age 5, I saw my mother and father, literally struggle to pay for our electricity bills. Every term, at the end of every term, we usually have our end of term examination, and I find myself using candlelight to study. I study with candlelights for hours. I take my time because I do not want to fail. I literally want to do well in my study, and I use candlelight to be able to see. Sometimes I use limited torchlights to, read through my notes. This cost me serious problems. And after some time, I developed an eye challenge, right? I had poor vision because I do not have electricity supply in my house. When I finished school, when I was graduating from secondary school, I made a serious determination that I was going to study electrical engineering, because I want to ensure that no child should go through the pain I've gone through. Now, some of you are feeling emotional with my story. It's a lie. It never happened, right? What am I trying to say? Stories can be emotional, but make sure your stories are real. Tie it to the emotion of the people that are listening to you. This is very, very important. Are we together? If you're learning so far, tell me I'm learning in the comment section. Let me know. Are you learning? Are you learning? I'm learning. Come on. Don't tell me I'm alone here. Are you learning? Vivid learning. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Emmanuel Ruwat. Thank you. Yes, yeah, sure, we are learning. Thank you. Someone says learning. Thank you. Thank you. I'm really excited to be with you guys. I don't know why. Um, um, then another element I would like to introduce to you in your storytelling is that your storytelling should be targeted towards your message. Do you understand? Your story should be targeted towards your message. It should be clear. For instance, if I give this story about my electricity challenge and then I end up talking about something else, maybe why I started going into education, it doesn't tally, right? So when I'm speaking about
Hello, are we still there, everyone?
Yes, we are on. We are getting, madam.
Okay, I think maybe he had a network mishap, so let's just wait. He'll be back shortly.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it may be network from his end.
My apologies, my internet went off. I didn't know why. Zoom just disconnected me basically because my internet is fine. Can you hear me, please? Please let me know you can hear me. I'm back up.
Yes, we do.
Okay, great, 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 great. Let's wrap up. Let's move further. Now you know about stories. So, like I said, people will remember your story more than they remember your message. Your story is what ties people to your message. Make sure when you stand before people to give any speech, think about a story you are going to tell. Start with a story, start with a hook, start with something that is emotional, tie their interest. Your story can either be emotional, it could be funny, it could be inspirational, tie something to it. Are we together now? Sometimes when I want to talk to people, there's this story I read in a book. Sometimes when you are reading books, have you noticed most books you read, more of the lessons in the books, you see the authors usually write lots of stories and then they just chip in a few things, then they tell another story, then they chip in a few things and all that. That's because people remember story more than they remember your story, your message. Okay, so this is very, very important. Start with the story. Okay, start with the story. There's this story about a captain that took his soldiers to war, and then when they came off the ship that brought them to the country where they are going to fight, he set the boat on fire and told them that the only way they can go back alive is by winning the battle. That they can see now that the boat is already burnt down. I love that story so much, and I use that always to inspire people not to give up on what they are doing. This is very, very important. This is very, very important. Okay, so let me raise this up. Okay. So this is very, very important. I want to encourage you because I just plan to spend 1 hour with us today. I want to encourage you to get storytelling videos. I'm going to send some to you. I'm sorry we don't have the time for me to play some of them to you here. Remember some of the videos I was sharing with us the last class. I'm going to share some of the links to the videos I want you to watch and observe some. It's going to be an assignment. You summarize some of the techniques. You can see some of these professional speaking in TEDx, how they speak, how their message is being organized, and all of that. You want to pay attention to it. Like I said, if you don't have a model or a mentor or someone that you look up to while you are speaking, you most likely not speak effectively. So you should have a role model and someone that you look up to. Now, the third point here in public speaking essentials is engaging your audience. engaging your audience. Many people have great speech. Some people have a lot of things they want to say, but they do not engage their audience. They don't keep their audience as part of the message, right? So when you want to start, you want to speak greatly in public, find a way of making your audience part of your message. Get them to do an activity, plan something for them to do. You notice every now and again I keep telling you to write something in the comments. This is me keeping you engaged. In the same vein, when you have a group of people you are speaking to, you must find a system to keep them engaged to your message at all times. In church, for instance, permit me to use a religious example. You see a preacher preaching a message to the people, and you see him using words like say amen or say hallelujah or say something. This is keeping the audience engaged. If you keep talking from the start of your message to the end of your message, by the time you are done, half of your audience they've slept off already. Sometimes you see them telling you stand up, bring a character to join you upstage to give an example. These are great ways to keep your audience engaged. Look for a game. Sorry, we didn't have to start with a game now because I'm pressed for time. Look for a game, look for an activity that members of your audience can do together with you. This will make your speaking engagement really, really awesome. And the final point I have here is having global insights, right? Global insight like TED Talks, look for some of their messages and see what how their messages are organized. Toastmasters is also another global platform you want to pay attention to. You can research this platform. You can build confidence while listening through some of these things. And then people like the Carnegie, right? You can look at their messages, look at what they are doing, globally, and then you are able to improve your own public speaking and improve properly. Right? I want you all to take some of these things I'm sharing with you to heart, apply them in your speaking engagement, and watch how significantly you improve in your speaking. Okay. And by the way, if you've not sent your video, please do it. Don't do it because you want to win a 1-month mentorship. No, just do it to kill the fear of speaking in public, fear of speaking on camera. Some of you are literally shy. You don't want to talk to anybody, you want to hide. You are introverts. I understand. But, in this world that we are in, introverts don't take the trophy. People that are introverts, for them to even win, you see most of them writing blogs, writing articles. You have to put yourself out there, either in speaking or in writing. You cannot run away from either of these. You have to sell yourself with your words. This is very, very important. I want to challenge you. Your public speaking strategies must be top-notch after this training. This is very, very important. Now let's wrap up with writing. Now, this is one of the problems I noticed that most people have. They can speak well, but when it comes to writing, I see people very, very, permit me to use the word lazy. I don't want to say lazy. Permit me to use the word liberal. They just take it for levity. You see them writing how they want, just abbreviating and doing a lot of things. I'm going to show you some of the mistakes people do in their writings, and I'll share with you some of the things you can do to improve on it, right? I'm an employer of labor by the grace of God, and I employ a lot of people to work with me in my organization. Sometimes, just by merely looking at the charts, I don't get back to the people that chat me up. You see someone typing, how are you? My pad is not here. I would have written something to you. You see people writing something like, how are you? And then they just write, let me see if I can write on my screen. You see them do something like this. Can you see this? How? Oh dear, this is really slow. You see them do something like this. How? We don't even do that. You see them just write like this, and then they do you this way. This is terrible, right? This is terrible. For someone who wants to be global, you want to edit your writing. How you write, people literally know. People literally know how excellent you are just by your writing, right? Just by your writing. You can't write to people this way and expect them to take you seriously. You can't write to people this way and expect them to take you seriously. So part of the things you want to do is to improve on your writing. And this is what we want to look at. What are some of the mistakes I've seen people do? You see people writing a lot of funny things. Let me see if I can remember some. Don't be part of them. Don't be part of the bandwagon of people that do that. How are you? And you write it like this. Wrong. You see people write, even the how, this how was spelled. Some people just write how this way, and then that's all. Can you see my screen? Confirm if you can see some of the writings I'm doing. People abbreviating things like this. It's very, very wrong. It's very, very wrong. You see people writing, okay, okay, and then they write KK this way, or they write okay this way. A lot of things. I can't even, because I don't know when last I abbreviated. I don't do it at all. So I don't see this. I don't do it. So it's very difficult for me to even bring out examples like this, right? So it's very important that even if you are writing to whoever, because you want to be perceived right, you must write properly. Because you want to be perceived right, you must write properly. This is very, very important. Don't cheapen yourself by writing anyhow. Don't do that. Don't do that. Your writing is also another way of showing people how to perceive you. Are we together now? This is very, very important. What are some of the principles of a clear and professional writing? I'm going to share 3 with you. There are more, but I'm going to share 3 with you. Number 1 is clarity. Clarity. What are you writing about? You're writing, you want to share thoughts with someone. You want to be clear about your message. Before you chat someone up, I see people make a lot of mistakes as to, you're chatting with someone. Apologies, I know I'm busting a lot of bubbles, because these are mistakes people do. You reach out to someone for the first time and you just go to their DM and you're like, hello, and you wait for like 2 days for the person to respond hi, and then you come back again and respond, how are you? And the person says, I'm fine. That is a very pointless way of communicating to people. If you want to communicate to someone, why are you reaching out? There should be a reason why you are reaching out to someone. Even if you are reaching out to say hello, you should have a sense of clarity as to why you are reaching out to someone. Good morning. How are you doing today? Trust you're fine. I'm just reaching out to check up on you. Trust you are doing great. That's all. Now the person comes to see your message and is sure why you are reaching out. Clarity. Clarity. Why? What is the reason? Are we together? This is very, very important. Most people are not clear as to why they are reaching out to someone. Whatever writing you are doing, there should be some form of clarity of message. For want of word, I'm using the word clarity again, right? Very, very important. The next point you want to take into cognizance is the conciseness of your message. Don't just go beat about the bush and then you just say a lot of things. No. How concise is your message? Put your thoughts together and communicate your message with excellence. Right? Communicate your message with excellence so that whoever is reading your writing will perceive you as someone who is proficient and who is a professional. What we are raising here at College Guide should be people who are professionals in whatever they are doing. Don't leave this workshop the same way you came. In fact, I can tell you for certainty that you cannot leave here the same way you came. It's impossible, right? You should take something with you. You are typing something right well. Right well. The third point is your coherence, the organization of your thoughts. How coherent is your writing? Are we together? You put your thoughts together in order from one point to another. Don't just mix everything up. No. This is very, very important. Now, when you want to write things like emails, what are some of the things you want to take note of? If you are sending emails to people, you want to write an email and you're sending an email to people, the first thing you want to see is what? The subject line. The subject line. See? The subject line. Sorry about that. So what is the subject line? An email usually have what? A subject. The point of focus, why you are writing and what the email is all about, right? What is the email about? You want to have a great subject line. Have you seen some of the people that sending you messages and all that? You see some of the things that you see the headline of the message is clear. What is your subject line? And your subject line should capture the thoughts of exactly what you want to send in the message. This is very, very important, right? The next thing is your proper salutation or your greeting, right? If you are messaging, if you are sending an email to an organization or to a professional or something, you don't just greet anyhow, good morning. Don't greet good morning. You don't know. You have to consider where the person is located. So if you are not sure the time zones are very important to be considered. You're saying good morning, and good morning is only morning in your country and it's afternoon somewhere else, right? You want to properly give a proper salutation or a proper greeting while you are sending the message, right? Some of you want to revisit some of the letter writing tips you were given while you were growing up, while you were in school. Very important. Make sure your content is structured. Make sure the content is structured. What you are sending to them, the message, the writing, the content should be well structured. Are we together? And just to add to this, some of the things you want to also pay attention to is using great writing tools like Grammarly, like AI platforms like ChatGPT and all that to edit your writing. You have a lot of tools. This generation have tools that can help individuals send excellent emails, send excellent professional writings, and people don't take advantage of them. Go online. There are tools like Grammarly, right? There are tools like Grammarly. You want to take advantage of these tools, right? There are tools like Grammarly. Go and look for it. ChatGPT is there. Take advantage of these platforms. Use them. Edit your writing professionally and have a professional closing. Okay, subject line, video submission. I see some of the writings you do. You know, the challenge we have with people while they are communicating is that people are very, very, permit me, I'm sorry, people are lazy to write. They don't want to stress themselves to write so much, and I understand, but you want to improve on that. Don't feel lazy to write. It's better you write well than for you to just write anyhow. No, write well. Good day, sir. Trust your day is going great. I'm writing to submit my video. It took me a while to put this video together, but I'm excited I'm able to do this. Thank you for pushing me to do this. I'm super excited to send this to you and look forward to this. Is you writing excellently. I look forward to your feedback. Kind regards, Mohammed. Beautiful. Are we together now? How about reports? When you are giving reports, there should be a logical structure, the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. How is your data presented? Well organized. You look at my slides today and you see that it's not worthy. This is because of the elements of writing that I've learned over the years. I understand that I should not jump back. So if you're having a presentation or a report, you want to focus on the key message. You put some visuals there. How many of you are excited to see some of the visuals I have here? Beautiful. It has your attention. Are we together now? The key focus of your message should be there in your presentation. You are not reading presentations. Is not your notebook. No, you can jot down your thoughts somewhere else. But when you are presenting your thoughts, just your key message should be outlined. I'm not reading my slide to you. No. Then there should be visuals, appealing visuals. And what are some of the tools you can take advantage of? Some of you can look up pngegg.com. If you are presenting, go online and look for PNG Egg, right? Google it. You can get great pictures from there, right? iStock has great pictures, although it's paid, right? There are other tools like that. I've forgotten some of them, but very, very awesome tools. You can get beautiful pictures. Even Canva provides a lot of beautiful images you can put in your presentation. Deliver excellent. Talk as someone that's been trained by Mr. Johnson, and make me proud where you are going to, right? If you're with me so far, please let me know you're with me. And if you are not angry, I hope I've not got to you yet. I don't expect you to be angry. We are together. Very interesting. Thank you. Of course, it has to be interesting. Thank you. Someone is smiling. That's very good. Very good. Very good. Let's move on. We don't have time. We are together. Thank you. I love the fact that we are together. Now I'm wrapping up. Some of the mistakes people make. Now, guess what? I want to start with a submission. And this submission is that I understand the educational limitations that we have, especially as it, we are literally from various regions in Africa, and then I understand that certain regions have very, very poor educational background, right? I understand this, but let me put my pen down and come close to you a bit and give you a very candid advice. Your location should not be your limitation. Someone should write down in the comment section. Your location should never be your limitation. Most people think that because they grew up, maybe having grown up in a very poor secondary school, you didn't do well in school, you have very bad English teacher. Let me tell you my story a bit. Right? I for one, I had a very, very poor maths teacher in school. I just very few people have told this story. I studied engineering, right? I studied engineering. I had a very, very poor maths teacher while I was in school, right? I had a very, very poor maths teacher in school. And not because he's poor, my maths teacher, thank you. Your location should never be your limitation. Thank you. My maths teacher was our exam officer back then in school. I have 8 minutes to wrap up. My maths teacher was our examination officer. So usually exam officers are very busy in school. So while we were in school, usually he had very, very, he didn't have time to teach us. So what he does is that when exam is about a week or two, he organizes 2 week Saturday classes for us. And guess what he does during that 2 weeks was to teach us on Saturdays exactly the questions that will come out in our exams. Exactly the questions that will come out in our exams. So that he doesn't look bad in front of anyone. So he literally rehearses the exam questions that will come out. If we attend his weekend tutorials, we have 40-40 in our test. Each weekend you attend is 20 marks. Another weekend, 20 marks. That makes 40 marks for your test complete just for attending. Then during the tutorials, he's teaching us the exact exam questions that will come out. So what we literally do is just to rehearse that exam question. We can't fail the maths. I got A's throughout my secondary school. But when I graduated, I got admission to study engineering. For the first time, I started seeing complex mathematics questions. What in the world is this? I didn't know how to integrate. I didn't know how to differentiate. I didn't know how to solve anything. And I came, people were looking at me with my glasses. I mean, many of you feel I'm a very intelligent man with glasses. Peace and love, right? I look intelligent. Thank you. People look at my glasses and they feel, this man, you are really intelligent. Don't tell me you don't know. What? I didn't know. I had a very poor foundation in mathematics. Don't tell me I know what it is. I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to solve any question. I got a D in the first mathematics exam I wrote. A D. But I was angry. Why was I angry? I wasn't angry with my maths teacher because my location should not be my limitation. I wasn't angry with my maths teacher. I wasn't angry because I went to a poor school. My school, I was on scholarship throughout secondary school. I never paid school fees. So I had, my school was not the best. Are we together? My school was not the best. It currently is less than $5. That's about 8,000 naira I paid in school, secondary school. That was my school fees. Less than $5. Are we together now? That's it. But guess what? I'm sorry, I'm just digressing for a reason, because some persons are having limitations because of their poor academic foundations, and they want to use that as a leverage to remain a mediocre. And I want to challenge you, right? Second semester, while I was studying engineering, I made a decision not to fail math again. I asked some of my predecessors, some of the people ahead of us, I told them, this is my challenge. They looked at me and said, sorry, all through your year in engineering, you're
Hello? I can't hear
this
you.
book like this. I'm sorry, my time is almost up. Is someone reminding me of my time or something? I had a voice.
I don't know. I couldn't hear at a point, but I
Can
think,
you hear me now?
yeah, I can hear now.
Guys, who else? Did I lose you? Did I lose anyone? Are you with me, please?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, great, great. Apologies for that. So in second semester, I made a decision to study math. I took someone that knows it, and then we went that holiday. I didn't go home. Oh God, we were solving math problems. I was solving math problems. The next semester math problem, before resumption, I was already solving past questions of the next semester. And guess what? When we resumed, my notebook was used to start to write a textbook in school. I was excited. So I co-authored a textbook, right? Are we together? Somebody said mathematics is a scary subject. It's scary until you can decide to learn it. What am I trying to say with this story? I'm saying that whatever your limitation is, do not allow it to limit you. Make up your mind. English is something you cannot do without. You are going to learn it, except if you are going to be a transcriber or someone that's going to be an interpreter or something, right? But if you're going to speak to people from all around the world, you want to begin to improve on this. Take your time, go and take courses, and you don't have to pay a dime. Maybe your investment will be your data. Go on YouTube and learn. Improve your speaking. Don't give up on that. Let's get back to my slide. I have a few minutes to wrap up. Common grammar mistakes people make. First of all, we see people making subject-verb agreement error. I was best student in English, but I'm not going to teach you English now while I was graduating from school. I'm not going to teach you English, but then these are some of the mistakes people make is this. You see people having this subject-verb agreement error. For instance, you see the team are working hard on the project. This is wrong. Why? Because the team here, the word team here is, the word team is a singular, is a collective noun, and you don't say the team are, because team here is talking about one particular team. So the verb that should follow should be is, not are. This is something you should learn by yourself. So the team are working hard on the project is wrong. The correct expression should be the team is working hard on the project. Are we together? This is just an example of some of the mistakes people make. We have two examples here. What do you think needs to be corrected to make this first sentence correct? Someone type the correct version of this in the comment section very quickly, please. Very quickly, I just have a minute. Please, you guys just be in that comment section. The last part of this, my work with you is practical, and I need you to be with me. Type pretty fast. Someone give me the corrected version of this. The list of items were on the table. What do you think should be the correct expression here? The list of items were on the table. the list of items were on the table. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Emmanuel. Thank you. You are right, Emmanuel, by adding S to lists, making it lists, and then you say where. That's correct. However, what should be changed should be changing where to what? To are. Because the list is a single list. And then what we should expect to be said is not where, but are. I'm not going to. Somebody's writing 1 and 2 there. That's not what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking us to correct the sentence there. Okay, so this is an example of some of the mistakes people make in English. Okay, subject verb mistake. Take a screenshot of this, and then maybe you can send me a WhatsApp message with the solutions, or work it out by yourself. Very good. Someone is working on the second already. You see that? She go to school every day. That's wrong. The correct expression should be she goes to school every day. Thank you. Thank you for that prompt response. I appreciate that. Let's move to the next error that we have people make. Let's move to the next error. The next error we see people make is misplaced modifiers. Misplaced modifiers. For instance, you see the sentence there, she almost drove her kids to school every day. That is a misplaced modifier, right? The correct thing there, you don't say she almost, she did not almost, you don't say almost drove, right? The correct expression should be she drove her kids to school almost every day. You don't say she almost drove her kids. No, you cannot almost, drive your kids to school, right? So she almost drove her kids to school almost every day. That's a better expression. Someone help me correct this expression that is here. She served sandwiches to the children on paper plates. She served sandwiches to the children on paper plates. You see, this expression is like, are the children on paper plates? You're saying that she served sandwiches to the children that are sitting on paper plates. That's the expression this writing is saying. But the correct expression should not be that you are serving sandwiches to the children on paper plates. No, you served sandwiches on paper plates to the children. I was waiting for your responses, but I just had to spill the right response. You don't say she served sandwiches. Thank you. Thank you. Someone was even working on that. She served sandwiches on paper plates to the children. That's the correct expression. Not she served sandwiches to the children on paper plates. No. If you say you serve sandwiches to the children on paper plates, it means that the children are on paper plates, right? Which is incorrect. Let's look at 2 more, and then we'll wrap up with other things. We'll wrap up. Incorrect use of homophones. What are homophones? Homophones are words that have similar sound, right? They are pronounced in the same way, but they are spelled differently and they have different meaning, right? For instance, you're going to love the new office space. The correct expression here is your, not your. You see, why they are being pronounced in almost the same way, they actually mean different things, right? You see your here, you're going to love the new office space. It's wrong. The correct expression should be, you are going to love your. Although they are pronounced the same way, but they are spelled differently and they mean different things entirely. Now try this. They lost their keys at the park. Who can help us correct that statement? What do you observe? What is wrong there? Thank you. That's it seems we just have only Emmanuel here. Emmanuel. Always giving me prompt response. Let's go. You see that now? Yes, they have lost their keys at the park. You see the word there? There is talking about what? A place. Instead of saying there, we should say there, right? So you see the word is closely is pronounced almost in the same way, but then they have an entirely different meaning. Thank you so much for your feedback, guys. I really am appreciating your prompt response. I love it. I love the energy in the room. We're wrapping up. Sometimes we have people put on run-on sentences, and I'm going to take a break here to explain other things to you beyond what you see here. For instance, you see the example I have here. I finished the report. I sent it to my manager. Now I'm waiting for feedback. Did you notice this is a run-on sentence? No comma, no punctuation in any way. You see people just write things and they just expect you to understand. You know, your writing is not your thoughts. Many people think they are communicating their thoughts in writing. You see, writing is the communication of your thoughts, but nobody is in your mind. Nobody can read your mind. We can't assume what you're saying. Right. So it's imperative that when you are communicating in writing, you ensure that the writing is properly punctuated and then is well organized. So instead of writing this run-on sentence, I finished the report, I sent it to my manager. Now I'm waiting. It's all put together and it's incorrect. The right thing should be, I finished the report. Can you see a comma there showing you that this is separated? I finished the report, sent it to my manager, and now I'm waiting for feedback. That is a proper way of breaking down your sentences, right? Now, someone split this sentence correctly for me. Let's see that in the comment section very quickly. Who's going to be the first? Who's going to be the first? Let me see the first person to respond to this. Who's going to be the first? Very good. Thank you, Shady. Shady says she finished her report and submitted it right away. Thank you. Shady used the conjunction and. Can you see that now? Instead of she finished her report, she submitted it right away. It's incorrect. You say she finished her report and thank you. Thank you. I'm seeing more responses. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Totiak. Am I pronouncing your name correctly? I need to travel to your country. Guys, someone work it out. Let me call.
It's okay. Don't mind.
So that I learn some of these names. Forgive me. So thank you for the feedback. Thank you so much for the feedback. So this is very, very good. Now, I promise to take a break to explain something to you. Beyond this, right? Part of the mistakes we make, I was going to screenshot some WhatsApp messages and share with you, but forgive me, I couldn't do that. I had a very busy week. So part of the mistakes people make also, maybe they are chatting with their friends or something. You see them just keep writing and writing, and then you write a lot of things, and then all of them together, and you send it to one person to read. Honestly, I won't read that. The best approach to doing that is to organize your work in paragraphs. How many of you notice that it's easier for you to read what I did here? You notice that, let me turn off this. Did you notice the gap here? Can you see this paragraph here? Did you notice this space was intentionally given? I would have easily brought this writing up here together with this, but to avoid to avoid clustering my message, I use paragraph instead. Some of you have the enter key on your keyboard, but you don't make use of them. Don't just keep writing. When you've written a thought and you have full stop there, just skip 2 lines or 3 lines and then communicate the next thought to your audience. Organize your thoughts in paragraphs. Give space, intentionally give space like this. Give space intentionally like this. This makes your work well organized, and anyone who is reading it, it improves readability, and anyone seeing your work sees you as a professional. Please don't leave this workshop the same way you came. Are we together? Don't leave this workshop the same way you came. Paragraph, very important. Give paragraph, organize your work. You are a professional. Don't say you are still in school. No, you are in school, but you are learning something that will change your life forever. Organize your thoughts. Hello, sir. Paragraph. How are you doing today? Trust you're doing very well. Paragraph. I'm writing to inquire about your visit to my place. I would like to know if you'll be coming today or next tomorrow. Paragraph. Looking forward to your feedback. Paragraph. Kind regards. Mohammed. I don't know why I'm calling Mohammed a lot today. Mohammed, what's the problem? Why am I calling your name several times today? Right? Are we together? Paragraph. Organize your thoughts in paragraphs. Don't just jump pack everything and cluster the message and send it to your audience. No, you're not a professional that way. Yes, Mohammed, for some reason, I've been calling your name. I don't know why. I don't know why. Okay, so let's move further. Let's wrap this up. Am I done? So this is my last message to you, right? Your personal action plan. These are, take a screenshot, everyone. This is your personal action plan. In fact, we'll take a group photograph later, but then this should be your personal action plan. What are some of the things you have to work on? You want to first start by identifying one key communication skill to improve and practice daily. You want to identify one. From the many things I've shared with you, I'm wrapping up. Identify one key communication skill. Some of you want to improve your speaking, you want to improve your writing, you want to improve in your storytelling. There are so many areas in communication, but you want to pick an aspect and improve on it. Record yourself, and believe me, I'll be more than happy to review your videos. You can chat me up on Instagram or on WhatsApp, and I'll be super excited to get your feedback. Truly, I'll be happy to know that someone is taking what I'm saying to heart and working with it. Right? Next thing you want to do is you want to also begin to apply active listening techniques, right? Active listening techniques. Okay. What are some of you talk more than you listen. You want to improve on it. You should listen more than you talk. A wise man once said something one time. He said, there's a reason why God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. It's because he wants you to listen more than you speak. Okay, listen more. Dedicate yourself to listening to people before you respond. Then the next action plan you want to have is to refine your written communication. Review them. Some of the things I do is that I write to myself before I forward the message to people. I write to myself, I write on Grammarly. Go on Grammarly. You should download Grammarly keyboard on your phone and use it to type. So it corrects the error. And look at the correction so that without Grammarly in future, you can also improve your writings too. Use Grammarly. Use ChatGPT. You can use ChatGPT to ask ChatGPT to refine a particular writing for you so that it will be excellent. Do that. Check for grammar. Write your message to yourself, send it to ChatGPT and ask it, please edit this message professionally, maintain my tone and my choice of word. Use this prompt, maintain my tone and my choice of words. You put that there, it will maintain your tone so that you don't look like a robot. Is that okay? You don't sound like a robot. This is not an AI class. I've taken that class to something that I'll be happy to share some other time, right? You leverage AI, do these things and write properly, right? Then another action plan you want to take after today is to prepare to deliver a short speech or presentation monthly. Some of you are good at some things. You want to start hosting classes on what you are good at. Gather a few people and talk to them. Do it for free. They'll think you are adding value to them, but in your mind, you know that you're improving your communication. When you are speaking to people on matters that is real business that will cost you, right? It will improve your communication. I'm talking to you guys now. This is real business. Do you think my communication will improve? Of course, yes, it will. I speak every week without fail. I have speaking engagements every week without fail. So in 52 weeks, I would have spoken for more than 60 times in a year. Yes, I speak every week without fail. Sometimes twice, sometimes once, every week without fail. Some of you want to invite yourself to your own speaking this thing and speak to people. Finally, seek feedback. When you are improving yourself, get feedback from people. Ask people, ask your peers, ask your mentors, send me messages. I'll be happy to review what you're doing. Send messages to people that have gone ahead of you and let them review what you've done. Before I leave, I want to still hammer on the issue of abbreviation and, writing informally to people, even if the person is your family member or your friend, make a decision that you're going to write properly to them. Write properly. Don't abbreviate to anyone going forward. Let this be my parting gift to you. You will literally change your life If you do this for the next 1 year, you will edit the kind of people that will reach out to you will change in 1 year. You will reach out to high-paying clients. You reach out to mentors, and they will take you seriously because of the way you write to them. Take this from me. Don't send people a one-line message, thank you. No. If someone has done something well for you, express your gratitude in clear terms. Good morning, sir. This is to sincerely appreciate you for your time today. Thank you so much for taking time to speak to us today at College Guide Africa. I learned a lot from your session, and I'm looking forward to implementing some of the things you've taught me today. Thank you so much. God bless you. Whatever it is, and send. Whoever is reading that will appreciate you more than someone who will send, thanks, sir. I learned a lot today. I'll just review that and pass by. But someone who has organized that thought very well I'll most likely be drawn to the person naturally, not because the other person is bad, but because someone has taken the time to express the thoughts. Don't send people one-line message. You are improving your communication skill. You are in a gathering and they say, who else has something to say? Don't keep quiet. Raise your hand. And even if you don't have, so even if you want to reiterate what someone has said, start from there. Do that intentionally because you want to improve yourself. Nobody is aware of your agenda. Just raise your hand and speak. Okay, I would like to affirm what my colleague here has said. In fact, he has spoken so well. I want to sincerely affirm what he has said. I appreciate the line of thought he's coming from. I like the fact that he's talking about we improving in this area and this area. And I think it's something that we should all work towards. And I would like us to follow in the. You see, you are not even bringing your own idea. Use somebody else's idea. Talk about it in the gathering. Don't keep quiet. Who else has something to say and you say, no, not me? No, have something to say. Are we together? Have something to say. Yeah, someone has learned today. Thank you. Thank you. Work on it. Work on it. Thank you. With this, ladies and gentlemen, this is me again. Thank you so much, College Guide Africa. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for this initiative. You know, I'm very, very passionate about seeing that people, especially young people, are improving and developing themselves in various areas of their life. And I'm super excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I look forward to other collaborations that I'll be having in future. It's really an exciting journey. I'll make any sacrifice to be here with you guys, and I'm super excited to be here with you. Thank you so much for having me. If you have any questions, this is the time where I will take your questions. But if you don't have any, I'll be dropping the mic right away. Thank you so much. Over to you, moderator.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Johnson. I know that people here today have definitely been impacted by you over the last 2 weeks. I can see someone's comment. Thank you so much for this wonderful, impactful, classic, and excellent mentorship about communication skills. Really helpful, and I'm grateful. God bless you, sir. I know that people are they're definitely not going to go the same way they started. I can tell you that for sure. It's going to be impossible for them to go back the same way they started. Thank you for your continued support. Thank you for always being there to want to impact in the lives of youth and transform their lives. We really appreciate it. And I'm sure everyone is excited to know who you're going to choose by tomorrow. I will definitely let them know who will be chosen by tomorrow. I would like to thank you on behalf of my team for always being part of this and always being willing to train youth. And I pray that God continue to bless you, guide you, and continue to give you more grace. Thank you so much. Someone says they have a question, Joseph, shortly before.
Yeah, please go ahead. You can ask your questions. I still have some time to be here with you. So just go ahead and ask your questions. This is my number. Someone is dropping a WhatsApp. Sorry, excuse me. Yes, Joseph, I can hear you, but your network is a bit breaking. Someone, please, this is my number. You can use this to chat me up. Yes, please go ahead, Joseph.
I wanted to ask, in writing, how can you actually know your tone of writing in your specific field? Let's say someone will say, this is my own tone of writing, and I write in this format such that whenever someone is reading this particular context, he or she knows that, yes, I'm the one that has written this thing in this format? Is it that there are styles or words that actually bring out a person's personality when they are writing?
You are absolutely right. Your
That's
tone
my
is,
question.
yes. Can you hear me, please? I'm responding to you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Okay, just before I address that, Frank, you're asking for my WhatsApp number. My number is right on the screen, so you can just take a screenshot of that, and all my social media handles right here. You can connect with me here. The number is on the screen. Thank you so much for doing that. So, as I was saying, right, your everyone's tone is a sum total of their thoughts. So your thoughts is how you think that you communicate, right? But in as much as you are communicating, your thought is the channel to which you express your thoughts, basically, when written down is now your tone, right? But what we're saying here is no matter what your thought is, it should be well structured and well organized. Now, I don't know how to rephrase this to you or any better. The way you write is different from how I write. Is that okay now? The way you write is different from how I write. Some people can literally just go to ChatGPT now and say, write a birthday message for me. I want to send it to my friend. Excuse me, if you write that and you send to me, I will know that it's not from you if I've been chatting with you for a long time. So instead of that, you want to say, edit this writing and make it professional. That's where we are coming from. So your tone can be perceived, okay? Your tone can be seen when you communicate to someone, when you write. Also, tone basically is not limited by just your thoughts also. You know, your mood also affects your tone of writing, your emotion, your motivations, and all that affects your writing. But the point here is not about that. The point here is in the excellence to your communication and how organized your thoughts are. Okay, how you're putting your writing together and all that. So this is very, very important. Okay. So very, very important. Thank you so much, Joseph, for that question. Yes, I don't know if we have any
Does
other
anyone
question.
have any more questions before we go? So this is probably the last time as a group you'll be able to speak with Mr. Johnson here today, except
Yeah.
you connect with him personally on social media. So if you have any questions or comments, I would advise that you do that now before we finally let him go for the evening.
Yeah.
I'll give about 30 seconds for anyone. If you have a question, you can raise up your hand or type in the
Okay.
chat that you have a question. I think I heard someone's voice. Okay, Todd, go ahead, please.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm so glad to be here. It is a very tremendous platform. Thank you very much for our trainer in the night. I have really learned and I will never go back like this. I'm really changed. And
Yeah.
I can't even express it in another way. But my sincerity goes to you and to the trainer of today. Thank you very much. We hope to be engaging more and more.
Yeah.
Keep going. Thanks a
Yeah.
lot.
Thank you. Thank you, Todd. Todd, can you pronounce your full name? Because I need to come to your country, so I need to know how to pronounce your name.
Hey, my name is Todd Yak Shawl.
Todd Yak Shaw. Did I pronounce it right?
All right,
Okay.
all right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Todd.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Todd Yaksho. Emmanuel says, I barely can ask now. However, I hope this is the beginning of the many interactions we shall have together. Many thanks, sir. Mohammed says, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, sir. All
A
right, once
pleasure.
again, Mr. Obanja, I would like to thank you so much for your time and your dedication to actually wanting to see their growth and their impact and basically just seeing how they can develop over the last 2 weeks. Thank
Yeah.
you so, so much, and do enjoy the rest of your evening. I don't know if you have an
Yeah.
assignment for them to do.
I'll work on that and send it. Of course, I
Send to,
definitely have an assignment for them.
okay.
Definitely.
All right
Yeah.
then. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
and do enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night. All right. So thank you everyone for joining today. We're done for today. There would be no class